How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to ReWrite. So, we managed to squeak out from last week, facing Eldritch Horror. Learned Sakuya is a little more than just like a really powerful person. Turns out he's the strongest familiar, like the strongest one. Kind of makes sense, but it's interesting because what it implied before was that making a familiar with personality and like self-contained ego, you know, because then it can become self-sufficient, had yet to be realized. And yet he seems to have a functioning personality. So unless he's just developed over time as an advanced, like, familiar, a more advanced form of what we saw with Kotori, with her parents and with Chibi Moth, then something else is going on there. So I'm curious if we're going to get some answers about that, or if that's something that's going to take time for us to understand. But he was able to kind of come in and save us, despite the fact, I mean, gotta give Kotori credit. Considering what he's capable of, he managed to pull off some pretty spectacular stunts, including actually finding a weakness, exploiting it against the giant creature. Which, by the way, in an attempt to keep itself alive, it sucked all the life force. Well, it was sucking all the life force out of the guy who had summoned it, and then he was kind of laid to rest by the other redcoat guy who has a face, who is now decided that his personal vendetta will now be to slowly kill us and everything we love. So, you know, that's just cool. And yeah, so now we're going to kind of see some of that fallout and maybe get some answers. So let's jump right in, shall we? We wake up. I open my eyes. That's a surprise. I was asleep. I'm in bed.
Sakuya! Kotarou ga okimashita!
Huh? I can't move my head.
Kotarou-san, me ga samemashita no?
Hey, Penny. Yeah? I try to remember. I was fighting Kiriva Rogue and then Mito, and then I must have fainted.
Maru 1日ですわ.
Oh man. I glance out the window. It's night outside. It doesn't feel like any time's passed since then. My stomach is tingly. Aww, it's Gil. Because this guy's wings are sticking into me. He's just rolling around, pricking me with his entire body. He hasn't woken up either?
ギルちゃんは小太郎さんの近くで伸びてましたけど、すぐに起きましたわ。
Well, that's a relief. Oh. I grab Gil. I got nightmares because of you! I spin him twice and fling him away.
なんだよ! 人が気持ちよく寝てりゃ!
Ah, forget it.
投げといてまあいいさってひどくね?
The door opens.
生きていましたか。よかったですね。
Of course I am.
どうして逃げなかったんですか?
I tried! Chihaya suddenly grabs my collar.
小太郎が一人であんなことしたら危ないに決まってます!
My life is in danger right now!
はい?
千早さん、窒息死させるのは結構ですが、その後はどうしようとお考えで。
Don't give her ideas, Sakuya. I don't know if you actually would want her to follow through on that. She lets go. I thought I was gonna die.
当然です! 小太郎が一人であんな魔物使いと戦うなんて!
I meant just now. The fight on the other night was far beyond I thought I was gonna die. Ow. My whole body's covered in bruises. I did pretty good, all things considered. I got beat up, thrown around, squeezed, but I'm still in one piece.
すごくないです。こんなに怪我して。
いえ、与太郎くんにしてはよくやった方かと思いますが。
Oh gee, thanks. Sakuya is the same as ever. So, you're a familiar.
はい。
And you beat that other familiar. Carivio Rogue.
はい。
And the one who saved Chihaya.
私です。
What the hell is he?
あそこまで楽に勝てたのは、与太郎くんが苦労して弱らせてくれたおかげですよ。
I mean, I appreciate it, but I have a feeling you're not 100% there. I mean, maybe, cool, but just stop. Which means he's the strongest familiar.
なんだよ、超活躍してたじゃん!
But I didn't win.
なんだよ、いいじゃん! 俺お前超見直したよ!
Well, that's something, I guess.
そうですわよ。まさかクリボイログとまともに戦い合えるなんて。
You lasted way longer than we thought you would. Here's the thing though, he was specifically toying with us. He could have killed us much faster if he'd wanted to, if he really tried. Thanks, you guys. Still, I would have died if I'd been by myself.
とりあえず、今はゆっくりと静養することですね。
I will. My whole body hurts.
では、何か食べたくなったら下へどうぞ。
じゃあ、俺も戻って寝るか。小太郎さん、ゆっくりなさってくださいま
Aw, thank you, Patty. Thanks. And so the three leave the room.
せ。
But not you. You're not going with them?
包帯、結び直してあげます。
Huh? Oh. She's talking about the barrier bandages she put on me. Thanks, those came in handy. My arm's still in one piece because the bandage took the brunt of the last impact. Chihaya takes one out of nowhere and begins wrapping my arm with it. This is a heartthrob event number 2! This time I can smell the sweet scent of what I think is shampoo. This is quite the unexpected development, so I keep quiet. Chihaya's a bit clumsy with her hands, but the fact that she's trying so hard makes me smile.
これ、そう簡単には壊れないんですよ。
Part of your powers?
ちょっと違うんですけど、昨夜と契約したおまけみたいなものです。
Oh, okay, interesting.
魔物と契約をした場合、使い手と魔物の間にはエネルギーのやり取りとかつながりができるんですけど。
That is interesting. That's cool to learn this now because, like, it doesn't seem like the familiars, because Kotori was relying on the well to make familiars, that energy exchange doesn't seem to have been something she could access or even maybe knew about. Because again, it wasn't bound to her life force. Oh, you know what? Actually, it's interesting. Maybe her strength also is from that. So maybe she's only incredibly strong because of her contract, which means that if the contract were broken or Sakuya were to fall apart, that she would be just a normal girl. But she might have been bonded with him from an early age and might not know any better.
昨夜はそういう魔物なのかもしれません。
What do you mean?
契約者を守ってくれる。
I see.
そんな能力ですから、相当強力なはずです。
Yeah. I should be able to take a dump truck head on with this.
小太郎、これが壊れるくらいの敵相手にして怖くなかったんですか？
I was crazy scared.
死んじゃいますよ。
I probably would have too.
なのに。
Why? I thought I already told you.
はい。
For you and me.
それは聞きましたけど。
What other answer can I give?
なんでそうなのかってことです。
Well, you know. My words get caught in my throat. I bet. I know I could just play it off again, but I feel gutsier now, probably because I just faced death the other night. Because I love you. That's why. There, I said it. Yeah, I know, right?
それはどういう。
What do you think I mean by that? I mean exactly what I said. She turns her blushing face away. Did I mess up the timing? Sorry. Could you at least say something?
はい。
You're stuck in a loop? I'd like an answer if you please. Don't push it!
それは。
Do you really hate me like you're so used to saying?
いえ、今はもうそんなことは。
Do you love me then? I can't answer that! Silence. Neutral.
普通ってなんかうまく言えないですけど。
I see. I hear girls don't really have a neutral. They either like you or they don't. Is that kind of like that for you?
それはそうですけど。
Okay. Okay. I think I finally got an answer.
でも、小太郎は小鳥とかいるじゃないですか。
Kotsuri rejected me a long time ago.
でも、今でも好きなんじゃないです。
I like you more.
そんな子供みたいなこと言われても。
Hey, this is Kotsuri we're talking about. He's the king of childishness. Well, I don't have what it takes to express my feelings like an adult. So straight declaration's all you get. Aww. She is really adorable.
小太郎のそういうところは好きですけど。
Oh. Whoa, I finally got you to say it.
恥ずかしいからあんまり言わないでください。
I feel so happy. Finally. And that was such a cute response. But I stopped myself before Chihaya takes a swing at my injured body.
そういうところは嫌いなんです。
Really? Those words sting a lot more now.
いや、別に小太郎は嫌いじゃないですけど。
Translation is that, like, I love you, but I'm so frustrated sometimes. Woohoo!
いちいちはしゃがないでください。
I'm just so happy. Really happy.
2回言わなくていいです。でも、そんなことであんな戦いできるんですか？
Yes? I mean, I just did.
そっか。そうですね。
Chihaya replies, smiling. Besides, you got up against those things too, right? Like, maybe this is a good picture to snap. She's very adorable. Dang, her hair is long.
魔物は相手にしたことありませんけど、能力者たちとは。
Okay.
でも、それも昨夜に頼ってただけです。
Which is kind of crazy, because it feels like she could handle herself pretty well. True. Hey.
はい。
You've been a summoner all your life.
はい。
Have you ever felt like quitting it at any point?
ないです。
Of course. Chihaya doesn't want to let go of her familiar Sakuya. I see. He's practically family to her. So, what kind of person is Sakuya?
話したことありませんでしたっけ？
Today's the first time I figured out he was a familiar.
そうですっけ？
Okay, well, Chihaya, maybe to a summoner it would be a little more understandable. We're pretty new to this. Do you mind me asking?
それはいいですけど。
Great.
小太郎、あんまり変わらないですね。
What do you mean?
告白してきた後なのに。
Well, yeah. Do you want me to change?
いえ、すみません。やっ
Aww.
ぱり、今のままがいいです。
Now that's the cutest thing she said so far. Then I will. We're already 30% more lovey-dovey anyway.
じゃあ、ちょっとお話ししましょう。
Yeah, sure.
と、
And so Chihaya starts talking about herself. About when she was little. Her first memories of touching a small familiar her father summoned. Chihaya's father was in the business of creating familiars. Not all summoners make their own familiars. There are specialists whose job it is to create them. I thought you could just capture these familiars wherever, but apparently they live in the other dimension in places like the school's basement. Summoners are known to make little settlements in such places. These places are power spots and therefore are able to supply energy to power-hungry familiars. Okay. So essentially they feed off the well too, but they didn't know, or they can't access the true like physical location and the well power there. Like only druids can access it without dying. But summoners still can feed off of the ambient, and they can bond with familiars, which are kind of like a natural byproduct of existing around such locations. Almost like echoes of the real world reflected in that fourth dimensional space. Again, that fourth dimension theory is my personal theory, but I'm going to call it that because I think it makes a lot of sense with what we've seen of it so far. Therefore, they make perfect sites for manufacturing familiars. While Chihaya doesn't know what her father made, she never saw anything as big as Kirviog Rog. I don't know if I'm saying that right at all. By the way, we probably know that's the case because it sounds like Kirviog Rog is an old familiar, like something from like a very powerful summoner, probably from thousands of years ago, that's been essentially handed down. Still, they couldn't have been useless. He would have been worn out of he would have been out of a job otherwise. Hey, there was this familiar that Tenma gave Mido in his final moments.
どんなです？
Small. He said something about passing over memories.
多分、お父さんはそういうのを作ってたんだと思います。
Like so is the bird one.
そういうのなら、見たことありますから。
People like Tenma and Mido might have gotten their hands on those artificial familiars. I feel conflicted about that. Chihaya grew up watching her father make these things. Familiars were an ordinary fact for her life, no questions there. One day, she was visiting her father's familiars, and little Chihaya managed to form a contract with a small familiar without anyone telling her how. That event showed how talented she was as a summoner. She was forbidden from forming contracts with other familiars, but that one familiar became hers for a long time. Her parents were initially troubled, but in the end her father said, "Very good, Chihaya." And he said it while patting her head. After that, she was taught how to handle familiars. She was specifically ordered not to call her familiar unless absolutely necessary. Her parents knew better than anyone else that using familiars ate into your lifespan. Oh, okay. I was about to say, like, what did they know? Like, I thought it was going to be some kind of secret about maybe why she was able to bond Sakuya so well, but, like, no, a parent watching their child slowly, like, sucking away their own life unintentionally, yeah, that could be bad. I wonder how they felt about that. I don't know. They didn't let Chihaya handle any other familiars for a couple years, so I guess they weren't eager to see their daughter waste her lifespan away.
どういう両親だったのか、実を言うとよくわかりません。いい両親だったのか、悪かったのか、実を言うとよく覚えてませんから。
That's odd. She has memories of them, so why doesn't she remember very much? I see.
でも、なんとなくですけど、一緒にご飯食べるのが楽しかったような
Aww.
覚えはあるんですよね。
That's cute. They must have been great parents then.
そうですか。
A few years after that, the Gaia settlement was discovered by Guardian. The Guardian saw the settlement as a facility where manufactured weapons, familiars, a key location. Oh, and it was a war, so a key location where they fracture weapons becomes a good target. And so they attacked. Chihaya's parents lost their lives in the assault. Oof. The building was consumed by fire. Familiars and humans fought each other. Chihaya saw all of it through her familiar. Her mother only had enough time to let Chihaya escape.
敵対する組織はガーディアンと呼んでいるらしいです。私たちの村、パワースポットは空間の中にあったから。表沙汰には一切なりません。お父さんがどんな魔物を作ってたのか知りませんが、それが原因だったのかもしれないし。
Right. But it's interesting that they were able to even find them.
パワースポットを潰すことがガーディアンの目的だったのかもしれません。
You don't know the real reason?
そう。あれから家には帰れなくなっちゃいましたし。
Right.
知ってお父さんが恐ろしいもの作ろうとしてたとか、そうなった方が怖いですし。
You know, it actually sounds like he might have been creating and working on the project that developed Penny and Gil, because they were part of a program that was canceled. I mean, canceled is probably a friendlier term to put, assaulted and destroyed. In the end, the village was destroyed. Chihaya was the sole survivor, but she was still stuck in the constrained dimension. Her pursuers would soon find her. Summoners can't be identified from the way they look. Even a sickly-looking boy can control a fearsome monster. Her pursuers knew that she might potentially be a formidable enemy for them in the future. And so she ran. She encountered one of the attackers. She immediately left her solitary familiar loose at them, and it would only buy her a little bit of time. But it was enough to escape. The attackers marked her as a summoner then, and they gave chase. She hid and ran. Fetch me. Until she finally found herself under a tree. Wait. No, wait, this isn't gonna be that tree, is it? Is that really how this is gonna play out? A cherry blossom tree. It was the only cherry blossom tree in the other dimension. Oh, okay, that's dang, how did it grow over there? Chihaya knew then. There was no one left to protect her. Help me. Protect me. She pleaded. And then, a man appeared as if answering her pleas. Oh, cherry blossom petals fell all around him. So he just kind of came out of nowhere. Interesting. And he like, this is the age, he looked like his current age, he looked like that from that time.
はじめまして。私の主。
Interesting. What is he? He wasn't a crafted familiar. What is he exactly?
これからは、私があなたを守ります。
それで、私は気を失ってしまったみたいで、気がついた時は、ガイアの保護施設の中でした。それから、私は、そこでガイアの魔物使いとして生きることになりました。
Interesting.
もう、住んでたところも帰れなくなって、行く場所もなくて、それしかなかったから。
Yeah.
小太郎?
It's nothing. I just don't know what I should say at times like this. That was a heavy subject. I already knew her parents died when she was little, but...
もう平気ですから、そんなに悲しい顔しなくても。
Yeah.
あ、じゃあ、この話聞いて、小太郎どう思いました？
What do I think? It must have been really hard for you. I wonder how I would have turned out in a similar circumstance. I definitely wouldn't have grown up to be like Chihaya.
小太郎、
Yeah?
ガイアに入らないんですよね。
No, I just can't agree with their thoughts and ideals.
私、やめちゃおうかな。
Oh, here's the thing, Chihaya. I don't know if they'll let you. Well, that's for you to decide.
小太郎、いつもふざけてばっかですけど、こういう時、そういう顔してる小太郎は好きです。
Aww.
なんていうのか。でも、別にいつもそういう顔してると、ちょっと困ります。
So she's most impressed with him when he's on his serious side, but if he's always serious, it'd be a little taxing. So she's like, I still want you to be a goofball.
だから、あんまり気にしないでください。
I see. I can't help worrying about it right now, even if she tells me not to.
ところで、ちょっといいですか？
Shoot.
実は、昨日からあんまり寝てなくて、話しすぎて眠くなってきました。
Oh, okay. Hey. Chihaya crawls into bed and immediately falls asleep. Who are you, Nobita? I guess she's been up all night looking after me. I swear. You can do the cutest things. Maybe I started liking her because I've always wanted to protect someone. I meditate on that particular idea as I glance at her sleeping face. Aww.
隣の部屋まで話聞こえちゃってるんですけどね。
Interesting.
若いっていいですわ。
Aww.
おめえさん的にどうなんよ、この展開。
そうですね。
Oh, he was listening too.
まあ、なんと申しますか。やはり、腹が立ちますね。
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine he, as a protector and familiar, like, I do think, like, it makes a lot of sense now. I don't think he's ever been romantically interested in her. I think he's just 100% invested in his role. Wherever he came from, and how shockingly human he is, which I still imagine there's something there. Oh, you know what? I actually had a thought. We learned in Kotaru's story that sometimes people, like druids, would resurrect the dead. They would take people who had passed on, who had great achievements, great power, and they'd bring them back as familiars. They would claim that they would be kind of partial reconstructions of their old former selves, but have a lot of power and ability as a familiar. Not quite the same. And like she argued that like they just were fluffing it up, but then we had that realization that there was a core part of them that was still human, that was still there, and part of Chibi-Moth that was still Pero, despite the fact that he'd changed. So what if Sakuya is one of the original, like one of the oldest druid familiars from the Japan era? What if he was a great warrior who passed away and was resurrected by a druid and has then kind of been patrolling, and his little hideout was that cherry tree inside that other realm? And so when she came by, and she can so easily make bonds with familiars, like without even intending to, her plea for protection just kind of resonated with him, and they just formed a contract right off the bat. Like, what if that's all that is that he was human, and that's why he can be so human? It's like he's a familiar who might have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, and over time kind of reconstituted a kind of personality. Anyway, I don't think he loves Chihaya romantically. I think he's essentially a super older brother who is horrifically overprotective and probably kind of wishes that somebody could be around so that if he were to fall or fail, that they could protect her. And he would hope it would be someone stronger, but he's kind of willing to work with it now that Chihaya has actually admitted that she likes him.
煮えくり返るか。
煮えくり返りますね。
笑顔が怖いですわ。まあ、おめえさんも俺らと同類だからな。
そうですね。ですが、それはそれでいいかとも思います。
なんで？
千早さんがそう望むならです。
Aww.
それに、私はいつでも。
めったなこと言うんじゃねえよ。俺たちだって生きてるんだぜ。友達なんだぜ。
そうですか。
なんかおめえはよ、儚げなんだよな。
Uh-oh.
ええ、それはもう、 桜は儚いものです。
比喩に聞こえねえんだよな。お前さ、ひょっとして。
シー。
ダメですわよ。そんな大事なこと黙ってちゃ。
That's why he also wanted someone who was strong, because he's got a temporary last. Like, he can only last so long. Maybe, so if he is one of those old familiars, right, and he's developed his own ego, he means he might be able to fuel himself, right? But maybe the catch always was that that fuel only has a lifespan of its own. Like, essentially, you become a kind of pseudo-mortal and can only last so long without drawing on your contract. But what if, out of his desire to protect her, he refuses to pull energy and life force from her? So he's constantly giving to her, constantly supporting her, constantly expending energy, which is why he always conserves himself. Like, he doesn't push himself too hard to try and, like, extend his own lifespan as a familiar, but he feels like he's drawing towards the end of his own life, and that means that he's gonna leave Chihaya, and that he's hoping that whoever's with her, that she'll have someone who loves her, someone who can be there and protect her. And he's kind of been subtly training Kotarou, realizing that she has these feelings for him and that they're reciprocal. And he's like, all right, then I gotta train him and make sure he can live through what's coming.
杞憂かもしれませんからね。
杞憂じゃありませんわ。
私のことは置いておきまして、あなた方は一体何者なんでしょう。随分と色々なことに詳しいですし、ちょっと想像もつきません。
それな、正直なとこ、俺にもよくわかんねえ。
ゴミから生まれた謎生物ですわよ。
まあ、それはいいとしてもよ。俺らの主様、お前のこと相当高い壁に思ってるみたいよ。
そのようですね。いいじゃないですか。乗り越えてもらえるなら。
So he's saying, if he can defeat me, then I'll let him.
壁の縦逃げだけはしなさんなよ。
そのつもりはありません。無論、壁の高度を下げることはしませんが。
あなた、全然素直じゃないんですね。
父親とは、得てしてそういうものでしょう。
Oh. A father. Does he see himself as a father? Like maybe he was a father in his former life? Or is he literally a creation of her father as a protector for her?
さて、夜食の準備でもしましょうか。
Or is he a familiar of her father? Like, she might have accidentally created him as one.
俺にもなんか食わせてくれ。
あなた方、何を食べるんです？
何でも食うぜ。生肉とか。
思い通りに生きるって大変ですのね。人は特に。
何黄昏てんだよ。食うぞ、飯飯。
今行きますわよ。頑張ってくださいませ。小太郎さん、千早さん。
Yeah, we might need it. Aww. She's not waking up. I'm getting hungry. I haven't eaten anything for a whole day. I sneak out of bed so as not to wake Chihaya. I put some clothes on. Sakuya and the two strange creatures are having dinner in the living room. Looks like you're getting along fine.
仲間だからな。
そうですね。
Okay, can I get some food?
冷蔵庫に。
Self-service?
私は少々表に出ますので。
Oh, right. Sakuya then leaves.
お出ししますわ。
That's really nice of you, Penny. Thanks.
いえ、そんなことありませんでしたよ。
てかお前、もう体大丈夫なのかよ。
Walking's still a bit of a pain, but otherwise, yeah. Actually, my entire body still hurts.
でも、しこたまやられてたみたいだからな。
Yeah.
これから戦い続けるにあたって、お前に足りないものが一つある。
And what's that?
暗黒属性だ。
Right. What?
お前の剣が光属性だから闇属性があればダークパワーも備わって二つの力が最強の力を呼び寄せる。
How many video games have you been playing?
ってネットに書いてあったぜ。
Even worse. What parts of the internet are you hanging out in? Sure, but how do I actually put that into practice?
そりゃおめえ闇属性を身につけるんだよ。
Sorry, I still have no idea what you're saying.
そうだな。まず名前からだな。 とりあえず何にでも頭に暗黒ってつけたらそれっぽくてかっこいいよな。
I don't like this monster that Gil's trying to turn us into.
暗黒剣とか暗黒波動とか暗黒地獄極楽落としとか。
I see. So the clothes I'm wearing now are dark clothes. Dark chopsticks.
暗黒フォーク、
Dark remote control.
暗黒椅子、
Dark tea towel. We point at random objects and call them dark.
ご飯持ってきましたわ。
暗黒ご飯、
Dark rice.
暗黒ご飯か。
なんですの？
とりあえず身の回りを闇属性にしようかと。
小太郎さん、ギルちゃんのザレ言に付き合う必要もないんですのよ。
I mean, it's been a while.
闇属性は結構ですが、
Sakuya returns.
こんなものがうろついていました。
He's holding a flapping bat in one hand. Oh. Is that a familiar?
そのようですね。
It starts melting. It drifts to the floor before scattering like sand. They must have been listening, and as soon as they recognized it, they cut the tie. What was it doing outside?
監視役でしょうか、おそらく。御堂か天神か。
Right. They're coming after me.
立場上彼らは、千早さんには手出しできません。
やべえなこれ。
Can they control something like Kirvyolrog too?
ええ。天神の操る魔物はキリマンジャロ、
Oh boy.
ハムシや古代の化石の魔物ですわ。
Arthropod. It must be an exaggerated one because I don't think there were very many big demonic, crazy arthropods from back in the day. At least, well, maybe the really old kind from like the late Cretaceous period. I think there was one that was kind of like a giant squid. A fossil, you say? I've seen pictures of them in educational books. A parade of giants incomparable to the creatures of today. So we'll have to fight another giant monster.
今度は空を飛んで襲ってきますわよ。
Oh boy. Great. How are we supposed to kill it now? I can't make myself fly.
尻を強化してヘで飛べばいいんじゃねえか。
I love that idea. That would be the most Kotarou superpower ever. Even if I could, I wouldn't want to. Anyway, Mito's a real problem. I think he has some kind of grudge against me.
あいつの魔物は溶岩の魔物フォゴだ。
So that's what that was. I remember the flames that consumed Tenma. Those flames looked like a raw elemental energy than actual familiar. They both sound like serious bad news.
今後は、千早さんから離れないことですね。
The enemy split us up back then.
ありゃしょうがねえよな。
Yeah, couldn't do a thing.
しょうがねえで死にますが、よろしいので。
I'll be careful. Looks like I'll end up having to enhance myself again.
先日の戦いで、どれだけ能力を使いましたか？
All of it? I don't know.
また特訓ですね。
Really? I have to do all that dumb stuff again?
ええ、
Give me more serious training menu at least.
お断りします。
Why not?
楽しくないからです。
I see. I was hoping it would be because it wasn't as effective.
それに、マジな奴とは一体どのようなものでしょう。
You know, things like battling to the death or climbing a dangerous cliffside?
命を懸けることになれるべきではない。本当に死にますよ。
I mean, he's got you there. And I would argue his training up till this point has been very effective. It came in pretty clutch.
そうした戦いをするのは、命を捨てて戦っている者だけです。
I think he's exaggerating, but... Alright, fine. I'll go along with him for now.
ああ、それと、茜さんから伝言です。
Perez? What'd she say?
引き続き、普通に生活するようにと。
What the hell? Damn it, Perez. Definitely using me as bait.
そうでしょうね。小太郎くんは、ちょうどいい餌でしたし。
I'm risking my life out here. I swear, next time I see her...
何です？
I can't really think of a good way to fighting back. The next time I see her, I'll flip her skirt when she's talking about something serious.
おそらく、何かしら電気器具的なものでダメージを受けるかと。
Taser. And what would Chihaya think? I don't care. Wouldn't work on me the way I am now anyway. I can preempt her counterattack now. It's a little sad. In any case, I decide to turn in for the day. Sakuya carries a sleeping Chihaya out of my room and back to hers. My bed smells a little bit like her. Despite being tormented by my passions, I managed to fall asleep. Yeah, I'm sure. The next day. Alright. What are we gonna do today? Go to school? Pretend like nothing happened? I wake up in the morning, go to school with Chihaya. When I return home, it's back to Sakuya's weird training. Oh my gosh, look at that! Oh, we pushed ourselves really far. We're almost at the full circle. Night, I try going to the forest. Nothing happens. Nor does anything happen the next day or the day after that. Things are far too normal.
強行派が摘発されたそうです。
That seems suspiciously easy. What? So he says one fine morning.
どういうことです？
どうやら、鍵を独自に集めていた一部の派閥がその修行を暴かれたようで。
Was it Prez? Was she the one who uncovered it?
茜さん側の勝利ですね。
Huh. I wonder if that's a plotline that gets better explored in an Akane route. But still, like, they've really set up this guy as being dedicated to come after us, so I don't think it's over.
じゃあ、どうなるんです？
そうですね。小太郎くんを追いかけていた男たちの母体がなくなったということですから。
So I don't have to watch my back anymore? Honestly, I'm still tense whenever I walk around town, like I'm about to be attacked out of nowhere.
とりあえず、目の前のは片付いたってことです？
But there's other threats?
そうでしょうね。
I'll call Prez for a bit.
茜さんに？
I just want to know the current situation. I wonder if she'll pick up. I call her phone. Beep.
なに？
I signal to Chihaya that she's on the line. I was just wondering what's going on now.
どうもなっていないわ。邪魔者が一つ消えただけ。よかったら、そのまま鍵の探索でもしててちょうだい。じゃあね。
Oh, that's it? Hold on.
なに？私は忙しいの。
I was just wondering what happened to Mito.
ミドウ？誰かしら？
You know, the assassin looking for the key to?
知らないわよ。
What?
そんなほうけた声を出されても、私は知らない。いくつか秘密裏に建造されてた施設は見つかったけれど、暗殺者の個人名なんて聞いていないわ。
So, they might not actually be apprehended.
用事はそれだけ？
You see, I'm being targeted.
千早と昨夜を頼りなさい。以上。
Click. She hung up. What the hell is her problem?
何だったんです？
They haven't even found Mito, let alone captured him.
そんなことを聞いても、盗聴されている可能性がありますからね。詳細な話はしないでしょう。
But she said she didn't know.
実際に知らない可能性だってあります。私たちも彼らの存在は一切知らされていませんでしたし。
Also, Kotarou, his counter to you was that you don't know who was listening. She might not have been able to tell you the truth on the phone. And his response to that was, but she said. It's like, yeah, of course she said. That it doesn't matter what she said if she can't tell you what she's actually saying. Huh.
向こうにしたところで、千早さんのことを軽く聞いたことがあるという程度で、今回の件があるまでは何も知らなかったのではないでしょうか。
昨夜のことはあんまり話してないですしね。
ええ。
Yeah, but still.
要するに、
Yeah?
お買い物に行っても大丈夫だということですね。
Oh, you want to do a shopping date, huh? That's literally what we're doing. And so I end up shopping with Chihaya after school. You know what? Fine. I think it's wonderful. She deserves it. I haven't been frequenting overcrowded places just to be safe. Unlike the school, Gaia has no control over the town. Well, maybe not super control. It's almost time for the Harvest Festival.
そうですね。
And the city's a lot livelier because of it. With the radicals gone, I guess there's no harm in taking it easy for a day. Let's go to the park.
はい？帰りじゃダメなんです？
We might have more things to think about when we do.
そういえばそうですけど。
Besides, this is as good a time as any.
何がです？
For our first date. Oh. I successfully told her that I loved her, but nothing's really changed between us. I thought that would be the case, so I have to do something for things to start changing. I mean, he's got a point there. That's why we have to take the first step. A date in the park would be good enough for that. Way! You're the same as ever. I agree to Hissy the cat, who's become something of a friend by now.
フライドポテトですよ。
But he seems to like Chihaya. You know, maybe being a summoner makes animals like you?
そうかもしれませんね。
He runs away as soon as I get close. He's like that with everyone else, though. Which means I'm being treated like an ordinary person.
でも、作る方の才能はあるかもしれませんし。
And that's different from being a summoner?
違いますよ。私は作るの苦手ですもん。
Okay, so she can't craft them, but she can bond them.
魔物って何かと何かを組み合わせて作ったりするんですけど、
Something like what?
動物の肉とか骨とか、あと自然物です。
They'll use corpses, that's a bit grotesque. The black hounds come to mind. They certainly do look the part. By the way, what do you think I'm talented at?
小太郎、料理は？
I meant supernaturally, but okay. I can make curry.
すごいですね。じゃあ才能あるかもしれません。
Yes, Kotarou, curry maker! I'm not sure you could call making curry an amazing feat. I'm pretty average in that regard, too.
でも小太郎はどっちの才能も必要なさそうですけどね。
Aww. Provided I give up on owning a pet shop or becoming a chef. I'm not sure whether I should be talking about these things in public park. Well, it probably just sounds like I'm talking about an RPG. Japan really is a peaceful country. So what kind of familiar is Sakuya?
何の？
Well, you said familiars are originally made from stuff.
はい。
So what's Sakuya made of?
さあ。
You don't.
もともとできてた魔物はどうやって作ったかわからないですし。
Always existed. Really? Like, he's as old as the planet?
それにあまり考えないことにしてます。
Why?
家族がなんだかよくわからないものだったりしたら嫌じゃないですか。
You know what? That is honestly fair. I think there's a good reason to be curious. And like logically, like it should be something that's followed through. But I also understand she was a child. He became her only real family. He protects her. She sees him as family and like a brother. And it would be weird to start contemplating because of the kind of very clinical source of familiars to suddenly try applying that to somebody you see as a person, even if they're not. Family. The word has a painful, strange ring to it now.
小太郎、あっちになんか変なお店がありますよ。
Okay, okay. Sakuya is probably... Can you make familiars out of people?
作れますけど、あまりまともな成功例はないです。
Uh-huh. Maybe he's a rare exception to the rule. How ironic. What are familiars anyway? Both Gaia and I treat them as powerful monsters which can be used for their own ends. And here's Chihaya who calls one her family. I wonder. I don't think you could bring back someone from the dead like that. Even if you could, you wouldn't call that familiar your family.
なんかいっぱいありますね。
Alright, well, I'm gonna kind of comment my thoughts on that real quick. So, like, Sakuya, like, if you took a person and you brought them back, even, like, as we saw with Kotaru's parents, where they had, like, their kind of memories, they still weren't her parents. They just were reacting to the memories of love and care that they kind of had fragmented memories of, and the fact that Kotaru had been taking care of them. I think a familiar that's brought back isn't the person that had died. And if they develop a personality and an ego, it would be a different ego. It'd be like an AI at that point, where if you have an intelligence that can artificially recreate the exact things that a person does, they're their own entity. Or the same thing would be for a clone. If I took a DNA sample of me and like produced a clone, the clone would have everything I have, everything I am, but they would be a different person, different individual. Like the whole idea of like a clone being like a receptacle for you to like kind of like become immortal is silly. You'd have to somehow be able to transplant your own brain and thoughts into a clone for that to even be kind of possible. And then you'd be essentially killing that potential person. Because a perfect example of like real life clones are identical twins, and they're different people. They might look the same, they have the same base code, but they're different. So Sakuya, if he is a familiar based on a person, Sakuya was never that person, he was himself. So it is like like, I think Kotaru's still seeing them too much like an automaton and not as an individual. He's got to kind of separate the two, because Sakuya clearly has his own personality, his own interests, his own, like, his desires. Like, he's not just a robot, like a golem. There's so much stuff. Chihaya's eyes gleam as she scans the strange accessory shop. The silver accessories look a little rough around the edges. They're probably handmade. My eyes linger on a silver pendant with a leather strap. It has a nice design to it. I grab it.
それ、気に入ったんです？
And hover it over Chihaya's neck. What do you think?
って言っても、よく見えないんですけど。
True.
でも、ちょっと可愛いですね。
Then I'll take it. What's the 1,000 yen on a first date?
なんでまた？
You don't want it?
いえ、
Aww.
その。
Great. Here you go.
はい。可愛いと思います。
Score! I'm glad to hear it. Good job, Kotaru. Chihaya keeps glancing at the pendant while we're walking. Growing on you, huh? He nods. Great. I'm really happy. But really, I want you to wear it.
じゃあ。
She puts it on. Awesome. And takes it off. What? That's it?
つけたら自分で見えないんですよね。
You know what? There's a solid logic to that, actually. Go for it. Well, yeah, that's how a necklace works.
それに、なんか恥ずかしいです。
She puts it on again, but hides it under her clothes. Aw, now I can't see it either.
いいじゃないですか。ちゃんとしてますから。
Let me see it for a little longer.
え
God, he's so tormenting.
じゃあ。
And now I'm paying close attention to her chest. Actually, I can see a little bit of... Ah! It flings me away. I walk around town with Chihaya at my side. We're not actually shopping since we never buy anything. We're just wandering around bookstores, record shops, and candy stores. Do you have anywhere you want to go later?
小太郎の行きたいとこでいいです。
God, the eternal struggle of being around someone you like and not having a specific goal is you both are like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? I don't know. I want to do what you want to do. Well, I want to do what you want to do. So you end up doing nothing. I don't really have anywhere I want to go.
私は別にどこでも。
That only makes it harder to decide.
じゃあ、
The two of us keep walking around while discussing where to go, which is the very date thing to do, honestly. Suddenly, we come upon a crowd. What's going on? There's smoke coming out of a building. A fire? Oh, as soon as I look up, flames burst out of the windows. Glass explodes from the building's facade. Panic breaks out. Huh? Something is flickering, dancing in the flames. Something molten. Oh no, it's that guy! Mito! It's Mito's familiar. A man looks at me within the crowd. Oh, you suck! Attacking people in the middle of the day? And he disappears into an alley after a momentary glance. That bastard! I push through the crowd to chase him. No! No! He's doing it! He's trying to draw you out. He wants to pull you away from Chihaya. Oh, you idiot. Oh, you idiot. Mito!
Yo, 野良猫。どうした？祭りの前の花火にしちゃ、
What the heck are you doing?
いつになく強気だな。天魔をやったせいか？
What is your problem? Your bosses are done for. What stake do you have left in this?
目的？俺は俺の思う様に生きる。てめえもそうだろ？俺が望むのは破壊。お前が望むのは維持。それだけだろうが。てめえも鍵を探してるんだってな。
I don't even know what that is!
てめえみたいな甘っちょろいやつの手に渡るのだけは我慢ならねえ。ガイアもガーディアンも関係ねえ。俺の手で滅びとやらを引き起こしてやる。
You know what's funny? He's like, knowing the key, there's no way he'd even be able to use it.
てめえも、このふざけた町も。
You're the only idiot around here. If you want to die so bad, go die on your own.
そう思うなら俺を殺せ。俺はお前を殺す。でなければ俺を殺せ。
I get it now. You're broken. Nothing I say will get to him.
壊れている？ 俺は至って理路整然としている。壊れているのはこの世界だ。一国平和主義だと？ふざけるな。そんなものは幻想だ。
That's probably true.
俺は俺の目の前にある、それにすがりつくてめえもろともな。てめえを殺して世界を壊す。それのどこが壊れている？何がおかしい？
Because you're out of your darn mind?
どうした？俺を殺す気になったか？今日は挨拶程度だ。言ったろ？さっきのは祭りの前の花火だ。お前の大嫌いな人死にがないようにあげてやった。
How'd they consider it for a wannabe psychopath?
次は、人の命が弾けるかもな。覚えておけ。俺はてめえを殺しに来る。逃げれば大惨事だ。てめえが大事な町の人を殺したことになる。
Right.
殺すか殺されるか。どちらかの覚悟をしておくことだな。
Mito turns away to leave. Get back here! Oh. Oh no. He calls forth a pillar of fire to block the way. Dang it! Kill or be killed? No way, man. Can't make a choice. Where's Chihaya?
そうですか。
Okay. Phew. Good. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and end here. Now we've got a bit of like a platform for next week. But we had our first date. It was very successful. I think it was really adorable. That was cute. But yeah. I'm glad we got some answers, but it left a lot of mystery still to be untold. So yeah, we're gonna be enjoying ourselves. The one thing I'm really loving about ReWrite is that there's just gonna be so much content we get to cover through this series, but my gosh, we're gonna be doing this series for a while. This might be one of our longest running ones because the branches are so flushed out. There's not much overlap. We're gonna be dancing through these stories for a long time, and it's like, it's great, but it's also the downside of this being the choice of the the channel members and everybody, because it's like, we're gonna be here for a while, so I hope you guys can hold on to what else you want me to play for a bit, but hopefully I'll be able to, on my own, pick good stuff to play, but yeah. Chihaya is pretty adorable. I do think Kotarou and Chihaya are a pretty good pair. Like, as a character for Kotarou, like, I see these two really meshing very well. I'm curious to see how well he meshes with the other characters. Because I'm guessing that each route has been written by a different person. Like, they're all coordinating, but they have different writers. And so Kotarou might end up kind of changing a little bit between each route. Like the way he handles situations, the way he ends up changing as a person. So that'll be really curious to see. I'm excited though. I hope you all have a great time though. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I always enjoy sharing it. So thank you for coming around and sticking it out with me. And thank you especially to the patrons and members who support the channel directly. Like, you guys are literally my dream come true. You're the manifestation of what I hope the channel can become. Is like the building blocks of something great, something where we can really build something long lasting, and I can keep devoting more and more time and making better content and making the content more more finely crafted and more cultivated, and eventually just letting it continue to grow. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here and for being a part of the channel and making this all possible. I appreciate it, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your week. And until next video, watching me, see me in next. I'll see you there.